Hello and welcome to the Nerdy Things with Brendan channel. I'm your host Brendan. Today I'm going to be talking about books I read in July of 2023. This is my second time making a video like this, so let me know if you like it and you want me to make it a regular series. But I read a lot of comic books making the kind of content I do. So here is my thoughts on some of the comic books I read this month. So last month I started reading Spiderman 2099, specifically his 90s run. And the first two books were pretty good, so I started the third book, and it really freaking drags. The first half was really good, but that second half, oh my god. It took me days to finish that, and I had to power through it. It sucked. It was pretty damn rough, and I still got 2 books to go, and I don't know how much I want to read them, but I think I'm going to try to finish. We'll see. After struggling to finish that last book, I wanted some short reads that were on my list that I could just knock out in a day or two. So the next book I checked out was Suicide Squad Get Joker. I really like Red Hood, and I know this was Red Hood leading the Suicide Squad. But Suicide Squad is not something I normally read. I like the movies, but I don't really care for the comics or anything. But it was a pretty good book, and I read it online. I was reading some of the comments on the third issue, and the third issue is quite controversial, and it's one of those open-ended things where you're not quite sure what happened. And I saw some people saying one thing happens. I personally think something else happens. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think either way, depending on the ending, you might be pretty disappointed with it. But I actually kind of liked it. I think it's good. I might add it to my collection here. I'm not sure. But it's a short read. It was pretty good, though. So the next thing I checked out was a Star Wars book. I was in a Star Wars mood, and Han Solo is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So when I found out about this Han Solo and Chewbacca book, I had to read it. And overall, it's fairly good. I think I'd say 4 out of 5 stars. It's not the most amazing book, but it did keep my interest. I did finish it in like a day. So it's a captivating read, I would say, but don't be prepared for the best Star Wars story you're ever going to read. It's certainly not the worst Star Wars story, but it's certainly not the best. So the series is collected in 2 books, so I had to check out the second book to finish the story. And it finishes pretty strong. It's still not the greatest story ever. There's some Greedo moments, though, and I love Greedo. I wish we got more of him, but his death is iconic. But it was a pretty good book overall. I think I'd recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan. Otherwise, you could probably skip it. The next book on my list was Superman 78. I love the Christopher Reeve movies, so I was excited when I heard there's going to be a comic book continuing his story. Although I did check out Batman 89, and I even made a video on that. That sucked. But this Superman 78, this was pretty good. I actually really liked this. I thought it was a good story. I have read a lot of Superman, so I can't say it's a standout story. It's pretty standard. Brainiac shows up, bottled cities and crap, Lex Luthor crap. Pretty straightforward. I've seen it before in like countless stories. So I was still feeling in the Superman mood, and there's a Superman book on my list that is supposed to be in my reading order, but I didn't even know it existed until a couple months ago. So I had to go back and finish this story to truly finish the tale that was told in these 4 books. So I checked out Superman, the One Who Fell, and this was so freaking boring. This book freaking sucks. It's some typical Superman stuff, goes out into space, some people need his help, some past story, his son helps out, but it was really boring. This book sucked. Like, is it terrible? No, but it's like a 2 out of 5 stars. Would I read it again? No. So then I was feeling like a Captain Marvel mood. I read Captain Marvel, The Life Story, and I thought that was a pretty good book, and I wanted to read some more. And despite a lot of people hating it, I actually liked the Captain Marvel movie. And if you want to know my thoughts, I'm making a video on it eventually. But I felt like reading some Captain Marvel. This series is only a 3-volume series. So I checked out the first volume, and it's so-so. I'd say 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a decent story, but nothing amazing. A little confusing at times even. Um, but that's really it. There's not much to say about it. It's just kind of confusing and just good enough. So I am planning on coming back and finishing that Captain Marvel run, but I needed a short break after a so-so story. And I've been meaning to read these Mortal Kombat X comics, so I started Volume 1, and it is freaking awesome. I love Scorpion. Hanzo Hayashi, he is awesome. And then just another thing I really liked about this book, it is the same artist who does the most recent Red Hood and the Outlaw series, the one with Bizarro, Red Hood, and Artemis. And I love that artwork, and he's doing this book too. So I love the artwork, I love the story, I love the characters. A lot of action, a lot of drama. It's pretty freaking awesome. I really liked it. So naturally, I checked out the Volume 2 of Mortal Kombat, and this one is pretty awesome too. I really like the story going on. I don't think I'm spoiling a lot of it because it's an old Mortal Kombat game, and it's really a prequel to the game. So if you've played the game, you know the story and stuff, but it's pretty much just kind of setting up the story. But just, they're looking for these dagger things, and Scorpion is training Kenshi's kid, Takeda. But it's pretty good story, and I really enjoy it. There's a third volume. I'm going to check it out, but it is now the end of the month, so that book will be in next month's video, I guess. So if you want my thoughts on Mortal Kombat X Volume 3, check out next month's video. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.